Morning, 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 morning. Got the Sumatra mandolin going here this morning. Nice morning. Hey, not quite so bad. We got up in the 60s and 70s here this week. I think spring is on its way. It's knocking on the door, knocking on the door. Hey, overnight, I know yesterday was Preservation Thursday. Today is Friday, March 10th, 2017. It's 10:05 a.m. Hey, overnight, my inboxes have just blown up. Two big issues are jumping out all over the industry, and we're going to have to talk about them for just a minute here. And this portion of your property preservation news that you can use, brought to you by Property Preservation Rescue, 405-788-5098. All your processing needs, one place. Girl's pretty good on bids too. Hey, there are a couple of other processing agencies here in the United States. One of them is not VirtueWorks. I'm going to give you, before we get to VirtueWorks, Kelly Montgomery has a place down, I believe she's in South Carolina, Florida, in that area. But she's on LinkedIn. You can find her on LinkedIn. The Taylor Shop, another domestic processing agency. These folks help on the back end of the work, doing invoicing, making sure everything's correct. This gal that is a sponsor that helps sponsor us here, Candace Cornwall over there in Oklahoma, 405-788-5098. Property Preservation Rescue. I'm not plugging the other guys. I'm just going to give them a token mention. They're not sponsoring. This gal is good. She's got very, very good credentials. She's got great references and a pretty good track record on bids and no rejections of the invoices. I'm not chargebacks. That's part of what we're going to talk about here in a minute too. It seems Assurant Field Asset Services, a company in litigation on employee independent contractor rule violations. But it's been brought to my attention that companies, and I have to read you a quote, that during some investigation on a company called VirtueWorks, this, I have to say, this is pretty bad. Many of you know I don't go down this road, but this is a quote, a direct quote in research. VirtueWorks is a band of foreign national towelhead refugees and are probably the best example of illegal processing. They violate federal law each day to the tune of tens of thousands of work orders in having foreign national personnel in foreign nations process those same work orders and should be both jailed and fined along with those whom employ them. I want you to think about that for just a minute. I do not know why anybody in this country wants to send work outside of the country when there are people like Candace who has a special needs child that she takes care of every day right here in the United States. Right here in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. Why are you sending work to somebody else? Are you a Clinton supporter? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense when we have people going hungry in this country to be sending food somewhere else. Makes absolutely no sense when we have people in this country capable, qualified to do the work, to send that work to another country. That's insane. And oh, by the way, it's illegal. Now, I received, I actually got a screenshot. I don't, and it's in the phone that I'm recording on right now, so I can't pull it up. But I'm going to tag an article with it, and I'm going to put it in an article. This guy from India actually admits, yes, it's illegal, but I can process your orders and make you money. That's what he said. It is illegal. So the companies over there, now what they're doing, I mean, there's this big talk right now. We have a big hullabaloo going on with the CIA. Are they looking at us right now? Are they looking at me? Hi, CIA, you piece of crap. Anyways, we have a big deal right now with everything being tapped into and whatnot. That's illegal. It's illegal. With that going on, why would any of us want to do that? Why would we want to participate in something illegal? Especially when you have a scenario, it's been described to me that the scenario is kind of like what the CIA is doing or what they're being accused of doing. Let me get this straight. So, because I know they're probably watching and listening, we know that. Eric Snowden let us know that the NSA was, and now WikiLeaks. Holy cow! But what they're doing is they do what they call IP spoofing, and they make it look. These companies in India and all, they're pretty tech savvy people, but they make it look like it's coming from an IP address in the United States. So, if you are sending your work overseas to be processed, number one, you're in violation of the law, especially on especially on Wells Fargo work. Wells Fargo work cannot leave the country. It's considered, it kind of falls under the federal financial terrorism laws. So be careful. If you're sending work overseas, again, that is illegal. You're breaking the law. They're facilitating you breaking the law. All of you should be arrested, thrown in jail, just like the people doing the illegal back charges. I'm getting information that Wells Fargo is not back charging anybody, that this is bogus. My recommendation, if right now and overnight Assurant Field Asset Services blew up my inbox, that's how many people are saying, hey, they're going back 2 years and back charging us. That's illegal, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, if it is a HUD or an FHA property, get a hold of me or Paul Williams immediately with the information. We're working on some stuff right now. HUD is actually investigating this. The properties that, what are the properties? NFR, I think, is one of them. And of course, NFN. Let me see if we can pull something up here. Let me see. NFR, NFN. I know the Bird's Eye Group, Michael Dougherty victims are coming forward. The Bird's Eye Group is ripping everybody off, but and people are coming forward on that. So if you've been a victim of the Bird's Eye Group being defrauded, let us know. Get us some information. We might be able to help you out a little bit there. Let me see here. The BLM companies. Yeah, BLM companies. That's crazy too. Of course, the big news, Fannie Mae now requiring 1/4-inch Lexan for clearboarding. NFR for the back charges. HUD has paid NFR on the properties that they're back charging you on. So it's illegal. My recommendation, lien a property, get them into court, say something so they try to sue you, because if they try to sue you, discovery will bury them. And I'm sure that everybody knows that. But the information that we're receiving is Wells Fargo's not doing this. HUD has already paid for these services, and they're not doing this. Craig Carnes was pretty. I was privy to a little conversation, and I gotta tip my hat. Craig Carnes was a little upset about it, and he said, "Hey, I don't know what to do, but you get me some addresses and pick the addresses you want us to investigate." That he went that far to say, "Look, I know there's a lot of properties out there. Can you give me a list of properties and we'll investigate it? Go through and, he suggested, take every 5th property on your list, every 10, whatever. But he said the list that was sent to him, he would investigate. So tip your hat to Craig Carnes, and I thank the man right now for even standing up saying, look, this isn't right, ladies and gentlemen. It's not right. Now, I do have questions coming in for the iFast interview that I'm getting ready to do. So if you have questions, I'll probably wait another 24 hours, 36 hours before I get into that interview. Send the questions in, ladies and gentlemen. Send the questions in. But the latest group of people to start stealing under management for stealing clause in their contract with NAMFS. I don't know. I could be wrong. Assurant Field Asset Services. They're backcharging people going back 2 years on Wells Fargo's properties. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not it's not legal for them to go back. Once there's all kinds of procedures that go on before a fee for a service is paid. Once that service is paid, everybody in line has approved the service, has approved the photographs. They've approved all that stuff. They can't go back and unapprove their quality control after they pay you because they already did approve it. It's a scam and it's theft, and it requires you to file. Make sure you file a 1099. If they freeze your money, I'm getting reports that AFAS is freezing people's accounts receivable, or for them, it would be their accounts payable. But they're freezing this money to go back and investigate back charges or chargebacks. There's a technical word there, chargebacks versus back charges. Chargeback is actually in the IRS 1099 deal where you list it as a chargeback and you 1099 the company back. You have $140,000 you were owed, I would be 1099ing Safeguard Properties. I would be 1099ing NFN, NFR, MCS, 1099 every single one of these people. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question that Donald Trump asked the voters in the inner cities when he went and talked to the Hispanic people. He went and talked to the black folks. He went and said, hey, look, you've been riding this train for the last 30 years. Ain't nothing changed. It's gotten worse. I'm offering you an out. What do you got to lose? What have you got to lose? Why sit and argue about something that if you don't ask for it, they're not going to say yes? What happens if it's legit? It came from an IRS agent, people. Come on, think about it for just a minute. IRS agent ain't going to go out and stick his neck on the line. We can't say his name, but the information is solid. Back charge them, if they're charging you for 2 years ago, they're stealing money from you today is what they're doing. Get a 1099 on that money. Get it filed. You never know. You never know. By the way, FAS, my understanding is they're trying to negotiate a settlement. Negotiating a settlement on the independent contractor employee situation. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care what the disclosure agreement is. I'm going to talk about it till hell freezes over, ladies and gentlemen. Till hell freezes over. That company screwed me so bad. But I filed a lien. I'm going to tell you, here's what they did. They demanded I perform a service, and I said no. I said no. You don't get to tell me I have to perform a service for X amount of money sight unseen. We are not going to do that as a company. We have never done that as a company, and we never will. And to me, that's bad business. You just don't agree to do something blindly because you never know what's going to happen. That was number one. The second element of that, the service that they wanted done, the specs on the service were more than what they wanted to pay. And I crunched my numbers per their specs. So we go round and round and round. When they decided they were going to sever our relationship, okay, fine, where's my money? You owe me on 43 properties. Guess what, folks? They told us, oh, we have 90 days to pay that. I said, no, you have 72 hours to pay that. Oh, no. We have to check. I said, well, you do whatever you got to do. I said, I'm going to do what I got to do. 72 hours go by. I take all my paperwork, every property, everything that I have that I'm owed money on, and I went to the court and I played stupid. I don't know what they're going to do. They're stealing from me, and I don't know how to handle this. They're trading on the New York Stock Exchange. We're just a little company in Silver Springs, and they're beating us up. They owed me $17,000 on 43 properties. The court clerk asked the bailiff if there was any way to get me on the docket for that day, that afternoon, which they did. And when I went in front of the judge at 2 p.m., he told the bailiff, I want every property lien. There's a $1,000 fine per property. So not only did I have my $17,000 within 24 hours, they had a $43,000 fine because they were screwing around and they did something illegal. They will clean it up, and they'll clean it up overnight, ladies and gentlemen. Lien the properties. Stop bending over and taking it in the shorts by these companies who are lying to you. I'm sorry I get so emotional about this, but it's a joke. It's a joke, and they lie to you, and they cheat you out of your money. They're traded on the New York Stock Exchange. There is no reason for them to hold anybody's money to check on Wells Fargo's chargebacks. The word we're getting out of Wells Fargo is that's a lie. I don't know. I haven't personally spoken to anybody. It's secondhand information, so we'll just leave it at that right now. But the word we're getting, that's not happening. This is them taking money because they're coming up short on whatever it is they're doing. Okay? I can't for the life of me understand why an insurance company conducting business in the property preservation industry has to stoop that low to take your money. I don't get it. I don't get it. That don't make sense. Don't make sense at all. The big deal on this, let's go back to processing for just a minute. There is a deal there because that information goes out of the country, and there's no system. There's no way to contain the information. So that's something to think about. Just think about that. It's the same gripe I have with Aspen Growth Solutions. Why are we sending information? You're not getting my employees' personal information in Ireland. I'm sorry. Not when that company in Ireland has 4 cases domestically of fraud with forged documents to get business licenses in different states in this country. That to me is a bad decision. And my employees' personal information I'm responsible for. So if one of our employees, check it out now, if one of our employees has identity theft and we sent that information to Aspen Growth Solutions, guess what? It comes down on me. It doesn't come down on Aspen Growth Solutions. It doesn't come down on them. It comes down on me. I let them have the information. A bad business decision, ladies and gentlemen. A bad business decision. And it appears, I just got a notification here while I was talking. Let me take a look at this here. NAMFS. Oh, wow. Is NAMFS insolvent as a trade organization? They are attempting, apparently, over the last few days over there in Dallas, Texas, they were attempting to onboard labor to prevent the bankruptcy. Now, I'm not sure what all that goes on, but it's just, again, International Association Field Service Technicians, ladies and gentlemen, this appears to be the new trade organization in the industry. It's Sounds pretty solid. I haven't and I apologize for those of you who are expecting the interview with Brian Mingham. He got busy. He had something to do, and he's out of town all week. Hopefully next week we'll get on schedule and get that back. But take a look. Oh wow. Um, foreclosurepedia.org, ladies and gentlemen, foreclosurepedia.org. Your up to the minute fraud alerts in the property preservation industry. That's right. Fraud alerts, scams, hustles, theft, management for stealing reports every day. Foreclosurepedia.org. Foreclosurepedia.org. Your processing needs, ladies and gentlemen, property preservation rescue. Get a hold of Candace. Tell her I said hi. She'll get you squared away. She's, as I said, very knowledgeable, and she'll help you out. If you're in the Richmond, Virginia area, Women at Work Incorporated. That's Women at Work Incorporated. Get a hold of Kim Savage over there. 804-539-4333. Landscape maintenance and your property preservation needs all under one roof, or in her case, in her pink truck. She'll take care of you. She'll get you squared away. And of course, in the DeLand, Florida area, Team Ironclad, Brett Douglas down there, he'll get you squared away too for all your landscaping, maintenance, and property preservation needs. Time for me to go. Before we get out of here, make sure to tune in if you're on the GMO stuff. Some very rapidly developing legal matters against Monsanto. And we're going to talk about how to do a little grassroots movement so you can get a legal thing going against Monsanto. Monsanto just got sued. It was shown that all the children on this island around where Monsanto has been doing their testing have all kinds of glyphosate levels in their system that are off the charts. Not good, not good, not good. Kind of, Monsanto and NAMFS, they lie to everybody. They steal from people. I don't know. Maybe Eric Miller took a page out of their playbook. Who knows, huh? But fraud alerts, foreclosurepedia.org, your processing needs. Get a hold of Candace Cornwall, Property Preservation Rescue, 405-788-5098. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a great day. As always, let's have a good time. Let's all be safe out there.